We're live.
Hey, hi,
Hey, everybody. Welcome, Chris.
hey, Robin, how you doing?
Why can't I see my chat? There we go.
I can hear myself at your end, Robin, like a wee bit.
What's that?
I can kind of hear myself a wee bit at your end.
Oh, maybe I should put my headphones in.
Right. And I am sorting. I was cutting that so fine because Shane had his ball python out like at like
Oh,
20 past, so I was like quickly jumping back into that to see it. And I was like, oh no, I'm running so late, but I really wanted to see it. So I'll need to like kind of watch the video back and like watch the end of it so I can see it properly.
I
Um,
didn't. I didn't know he had a Python.
yeah, he's got the same type as me. Um,
Ah,
one that I've got, Shane's got one of them. Only his is a female, and she's older and much bigger than Loki. Um,
I wanted to thank you for sharing them last week on your live. And if anybody in the chat didn't get to see them, they should go back and look at that live because it was fun. And just about anything you'd ever want to know about snakes, I asked about in the chat. So you've got all your answers there. I found it really, really fascinating, actually.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Uh,
it was cool having someone who was actually curious about it. So thanks for asking questions and stuff.
yeah. We have Jamie and Diane, Zane, Jonathan, Simon, Kim Moon Whisper. I don't know Kim, I don't think. Welcome. Jen Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation. That's always a mouthful. Gerald, Sandra, and Aquarius Owl, and it jumped on me. Sue, Maharet, Jackie. Did I say Sandra?
Yep.
Richard. Oh, so we got a nice full house today. So welcome everybody.
Hey everyone.
I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. I had a couple of ideas as a kind of a last resort if nothing comes up, but I'm totally open to. Well, we always sort of start off with kind of new stuff. I don't know if there's any new things that you've been working with or acquired or.
Um, yeah, so I got so I'm probably going to do a video on this. Hang on, I can
Okay.
still hear myself and I don't know why. It
Have
can't be you in because you're wearing headphones, but mine's is on mute.
you got the YouTube volume on?
No, that's what I'm saying, it's on mute.
Hmm.
Strange. Anyway, sorry. So I got gifted the Druidcraft Tarot very
Mm-hmm.
recently. I've actually not asked the person's permission if I can like say who it was, but I was really kindly gifted the Druidcraft Tarot, and I've spent the last couple of days. Like I got it on Saturday, so I spent the last couple of days just going through it and looking at the images and like kind of reading the guidebook, and it's really, really like I'm really enjoying it. And this is someone who's never been like I don't know anything about Druidcraft or like uh, really paganism, to be honest. I don't really have much knowledge on all of that, so it was interesting looking at the images and reading up on it, looking at the cards and seeing, right, how is this different from like kind of your standard RWS type imagery. And there's actually a couple of there's some things in the cards that I need to ask people about. So like people who know that kind of stuff well, like Jamie and like Simon and all of our other kind of pagan slash druid type friends that we've got in the community. I really want to ask. Like, I've got some questions, so I have. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Is
What
that
about
the
you?
one that everybody is trimming, or am I thinking of a
Yeah.
different
No,
deck?
you're right. It's this one. You're spot on. So if I get, I'll show you one of the cards. Because everybody kind of has their own way of trimming this, I think. So here you've got the Four of Swords, and you can
Mhm.
see like there's like the white border, and then there's this kind of stone effect border. So some people will just take the white off and leave the kind of stone effect right round, which is what I think I'm going to do. Some people take it to just the image,
Mhm.
um, which is equally nice. I do like cards with just images, and some people will kind of take the outer stone effect and leave the kind of title. Do you know what I mean? So you have the
Yeah.
title, the stone effect line, and then the image. So there's different kind of ways that people tend to trim this one.
Does the back work regardless, or
Yeah, I think so. So that's the back.
well, there is a line on there. Yeah. Hmm.
There's a line, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's going to look like if I just take the white off. I'm not sure.
Is there
Oh,
by any chance an extra card in the deck to experiment on, or no? No.
no, there's not. No, but I mean, since I'm taking it like to the I'm taking the least off. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then, if it looks a mess on the back, then I'll be able to just take more. I'd rather that than take loads off and then think it looks a mess, and because I can't add it back
Yeah.
on, obviously.
Well, measure it with a ruler on both sides, and you can see how
Yeah.
far in it will cut.
Yeah,
Um, and that one's still easily available, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get this on
I
Amazon, and
I never I've only trimmed a few decks, and I never trim them unless I can instantly jump online and buy another copy in
yeah,
case I mess it up.
yeah. Fair enough.
I think
Um,
L just popped in, and Deanne, I noticed.
so should I tell you? I just managed to catch Shane's ball python at the end there, so I'm glad I got to see her. Jamie says, Chris, I took mine down to the inside border. So have you got like image, stone border line, and then title, Jamie, basically? Is that what yours looks like? Um, so yeah, I kind of want to keep the stone effect. I quite like the stone effect border, which is unusual for me, to be honest, because I'm normally a images only type guy. But I'm going to see what it's like with just the whites taken off. Um, Sandra says yes, but it's Chris's copy. It's gifted. They probably wouldn't want to buy another copy.
Yeah.
That's a point.
Oh, Jilly just popped in. Hey, Jilly. Um, yeah, I don't know if this falls on similar lines or not. Druids and Celts aren't really the same thing, or are they? Or is there some overlap? I don't know my history.
I'm probably not the best person to ask that question. I think like Druidcraft and uh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like Celtic,
Yeah,
Druids and Celts. I think they are kind of. Do you know? I'm not even going to try. I know that like Celtic refers to like Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. I think.
that's what I thought. But I'll tell you. Well, the thing is, I've been kind of getting into Lenormand recently, and I ordered this deck on Amazon that came really quickly. The other ones are taking more time. But oh, wait, Simon says Celts are people, Druids is a
Mhm.
belief.
Right. Okay. There you go.
And Richard says Saxon Celtic. I don't know. But anyway, I got this deck, the Celtic
Mhm.
Lenormand, and
Right.
this is an example of never judge a deck by its box, because I really don't like the artwork on the box.
Right.
But I saw a walkthrough and I really liked it a lot. And actually it looks like a big deck but the box is big. It's got like an inset inside for smaller, regular Lenormand size cards, like bridge size cards. And the backs are beautiful, and the color is beautiful. And there's about 10 different cards inside that are alternates that you can choose from. But anyway, I was reading in the book or somewhere on there where it said that this is based on the Celts from Brittany in the north of France. And I thought, France? I thought the Celts were in the UK somewhere, like Scotland or Ireland or something. So I don't know. Maybe they got around. I don't know. I don't know where they're from. But anyway, it's a beautiful deck. There's some really, really pretty images in it, and I really like it a lot. I also discovered recently make playing cards for anybody into like bridge size cards. They have these fantastic, you talk about the tins. These are little plastic boxes with a hinge, which are great because you can see the deck through the box. It's a little bit frosty, but you can see it. And I think they're like $1 and change or something. I mean, they're fairly cheap. And I really like them. I only got 2, but I should get some more. I got one to keep my own tarot in, and it's kind of perfect, actually.
Oh,
so
works nicely.
Yeah. So yeah, bridge size. And I recently looked up online to find out what's the difference between bridge size and poker size. And apparently bridge is 2¼ inches wide and poker is 2½ inches wide, unless I've got them switched the wrong way around, but I think that's right. So anyway, I got that, and I got I think I received all the decks that I ordered before Christmas that didn't show up in time. I got about 4 or 5 different playing card decks, and I've got a whole backlog of walkthroughs that I'm loading a couple of days at a time because I didn't want to put them all out there at once. But I got problem with the playing card ones is I have some really pretty art card ones, but they are like random art images. So if you want to divine, you pretty much have to do it like regular playing cards. It's got no relation to these randomly assigned images. But I got one from Taro Muka. I mean, the paintings of Alphonse Muka. And I've got one of the flower fairies from Cicely Mary Barker, who was an illustrator of children's books in the late 1800s, and one on Danish gnomes, which is really good, and then a really nice one on painted winter scenes that I'm holding out that we get a little bit of snow again. I want to release that walkthrough on a day when it snows so people can feel all cozy when they're looking through the cards. And then the last one I got was Maxfield Parrish, who was another late 1800 romantic illustrator. So people that love that, like Art Nouveau, pre-Raphaelite stuff, will love all these. It's all that kind of era, a lot of it. I really like it. So I got those. I also got on Printer's Studio the Psychedelic Lenormand, which is fun. I think I released a walkthrough of that, and it's got some bright op art colors on it. And my Marcella Robledo finally arrived from South America. It only took a couple of months to get to me. He mailed it right away, but I guess customs and mailing are really slow from South America, especially during COVID. And mostly, and a friend of mine sent me, I haven't done a walkthrough of this yet, the Blue Cat Tarot, which I think Simon did a walkthrough of. And I'm not a cat person, but I really like the stylized art of these cats.
Why is blue French, but cat is English?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It should be like blue chat.
Yeah.
That is strange. Yeah, I don't know.
Wee things like that bug me.
So, and I've been mostly lately working with my Intuition Rorschach ink blot
Yeah,
deck.
remember you
I'm
showing that.
loving that.
Yeah,
My Robledo, my little air deck playing cards that everybody's seen, I think.
yep.
And I dug out this Samhain Lenormand that I got from Tarot by Seven. I've been using that a lot lately too.
Nice.
So I don't know. I've been enjoying our Marseille study group. I'm kind of hoping that somebody does a Lenormand study group, although it might be a little bit trickier to do because in the Marseille group we have somebody usually hold up 3 cards, and you can't do that so well with Lenormand. It's not like a card at a time thing. It's all about the spread. So I mean, I guess you
I think you
can
can
do.
do 3 cards in Lenormand though. That's about the minimum, isn't it?
Yeah. You can do 3, but they're seem mostly about like 9 card and Grand Tableau, which is there's like no way to do that unless one person has like an overhead camera and can do them for the whole group or something. But
Yeah.
maybe someone will figure out. I see Justin just came in. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, Justin. I'm planning on doing Kelly's Lenormand class this year, so I'm.
Oh,
But right now, I really don't know that much about it. I can tell you what some of the cards, like the very basic meaning of them is, but I've never done a Lenormand reading for anyone, and I don't know that much about it.
I'm
Um,
getting a lot of it already on. Oh, Terra Oracle just popped in. Hey, I'm getting a lot of it online. In fact, Kelly did a whole series or a course a few years ago for free on her on her channel, and I've been wading through those one at a time, and that's been really useful and helpful.
yeah.
So, what's Whispers of Three? Hello, boy, all these people coming in. I don't know, but
See, before I forget, by the way,
yeah.
I've told everybody by now that I've ordered the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, and it's coming to me, I think, from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to the UK from the EU, and I'd paid €11 initially, and I ordered it before we exited. I ordered it on the 27th of December, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so obviously since then we've exited the EU and there's been deals kind of negotiated and whatnot. So I got an email today that said, due to the deal that's been negotiated, we need you to pay €5 extra for the postage. So the
Mm-hmm.
postage went from €11 to €16. So if anybody's like, obviously that's not going to speak for how it works for everyone and for every kind of company. I think I'm getting mine through DHL. But if anyone was kind of wondering roughly what kind of effect it's going to have, that's like an example. That's what's happened with me. So I just wanted to put that out there for all my fellow UK people.
Yeah, that's good to know. I don't guess it's affected anybody in any of the other countries, probably because the money systems are different now, right? You're not
Um,
dealing in euros or any. Well, I don't know. Were you dealing in euros before?
no, we've never been in euros. We've always been pounds, pound
So,
sterling.
so is it still pounds in the UK, or
Mhm.
has it switched to euros? I'm like totally confused by all that stuff. I guess you
No,
guys
no,
are.
no. I was just giving so like a you if I what is it? £1 is about 1.07 euros or something like that. I can't quite
Mhm.
remember, but um, no, we've always been pounds and we're going to stay pounds. It's our money's not changing. We've exited the European Union, which affects how we trade with countries that are still
Mm.
within the European Union. Because we're not in it anymore, we're not part of the customs union. Um, my very limited, by the way, understanding of it is like it's now more complicated how we give and receive trade from there. And it's been for a lot of us, it's been a big question mark about how it's going to affect, if we're getting packages and stuff from the EU. How are we going to be affected? I think that's really been the big question. So that was the point in my story. It was just to like €5 is what it cost me extra.
So
So
the extra fee is for extra shipping, right?
uh,
Or does it change customs as well?
customs, I think it's to do with customs. I don't really
Oh,
know what, but somewhere along the way to get it from Germany where it's made to my house, it's costing me €5 extra. And that's about £4.60 something, £4.64 or something. It cost me. I had to send them. So um,
so
yeah,
Sandra's asking if she orders the deck from France, is it going to cost more than before?
it looks like it probably will, Sandra. Yeah, if it's cost me more, then yeah, the chances are it will. But I mean, I can't say for sure. Simon says postage to the USA has almost doubled, but the USA aren't.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how it all works, but that sucks.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a diversion, but
Do you
just
guys work mostly through DHL? Or I don't know. I guess it's all different.
no,
I
that's just
know.
just one delivery company I think that's used.
Huh.
So yeah,
Yeah, I feel kind of bad because I don't like to deal. I mean, I have all these decks that I wouldn't mind like trading or selling, but I don't want to ship to the UK. I guess because I'm a lazy son of a bitch. I don't want to fill out all the extra customs forms and like pay all the extra postage that it costs at the post office to it's so expensive to send a ship over there, so it's like I've been procrastinating on that.
hmm.
Oh, US won't send Witch's Moon either to the UK currently. Is that the one, Simon, that Dan subscribes to, the Witch's
Yeah,
Moon?
that's right. It was Dan that was
uh
saying about that.
that's kind of his whole channel pretty much, so that's going to affect him, huh? Wow.
Yeah. So
What?
what were your You said you had a couple of ideas about things to talk about, Robin. What?
Oh, well, I don't remember whether you've ever talked about this or not, or whether it's something you're open to talking about in terms of spirituality, whether you've touched on that or not. First of all, I don't know whether you journal or not. I mean, everybody's got these big honking journals, and I just got this little thing. I don't journal very much. I just make notes once in a blue moon when I have a little inspiration or something. And I got to thinking, making this list of what tools connect you to spirit. And I was just kind of like going down a list thinking of, are there tools that you use in your toolbox, say, aside from tarot, that kind of connect you to spirit, or is there a preparation, a process you go through maybe before you sit down to do the tarot? Because I have a list of about 10 things here, and I don't know if you're open to talking about that or if it affects you or not.
Um, I suppose from my point of view, I've not really made my mind up about what's I don't have a set definition for what spiritual is. Do you know what I mean? For me, and I think I might have said this in a reading recently or something, but like take earlier on, for example, me, Sandy, and we've got Sophie staying over. So me, Sandy, and Sophie sitting at the dinner table, all eating a meal together. Do you know what I mean? That Sandy had worked hard over in the kitchen, enjoying food together. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And connecting as three people. That's for me. That's spiritual. Do you know what I mean? So I guess like if you're only talking about like this, well, like this kind of stuff, then really my tarot decks are I suppose
Well, I know of two of them for you already I mean, loosely can be referred to as spirit. One is tarot that you consult, and I know that you consult different kinds of things because I know you also do oracle and tarot de Marseille and RWS, but I also know that you burn incense. And
yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
I don't know if you burn incense just because you love the smell of it or whether it kind of helps your mood to prepare you for readings and things, you know?
Um, so I think I burn it both, like both because it smells nice. It does set a nice mood, but as well, it's just a bit of mindfulness, I think. Do you know what I mean? See,
Yeah.
if you tell yourself like, right, I'm going to burn this incense or I'm going to light this candle because, I want to be thankful for all of the key workers right now, or I want to be thankful for everything that Simon does, with the quarantine streams and stuff. I think that's what you're referring to. What I've done when I've covered the quarantine streams, I think it's just a bit of mindfulness and it's just kind of paying a bit of mind and saying like, right, I'm doing this for this particular reason. And I suppose I do the same thing with lighting a candle sometimes. And I know I've said like I'm not really much of a crystally type person, but I've found myself actually um, doing a wee bit of kind of like intention work with crystals, like
Mhm.
nothing major.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
forgot about the crystals. How could I forget Sandra?
I know exactly. Like, you can't forget Sandra.
So
Um,
Simon says Chris burns incense with intent. That's spiritual.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, Simon thinks so. I don't know if you think so, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I definitely do. That's what I was saying, yeah. So
but I'm just going to toss these out there, and you can comment or not, and people in the chat can comment or not. So my list is called "What Tools Connect You to Spirit," and number one is silence, quiet, peace, and alone time. For me, to really tune in to do. Oh, there's June. Hi, June. To really tune in to doing a reading or I do my best intuitive work when there aren't distractions. I think most people, when they sit down to do tarot, don't want a lot of noise or distractions going on around them. So I think that silence and peace and quiet and alone time are routinely normal for setup, that kind of thing, unless somebody in the chat thinks otherwise. But I can't quite imagine do, doing a tarot reading in the middle of Midtown in noontime traffic or something like that.
yeah.
Uh,
No,
d-
I definitely agree. What I've actually found myself doing, like I can get quite like I like when I'm like look right now there's not really much on my desk. Like if I'm going to be like sitting and like pulling cards or like kind of meditating like we do on a Sunday, I like everything to be clear. I like to feel like I've got lots of space, but like I can get quite like pedantic about that kind of thing. So what I've found myself doing is just making wee distractions, like not having like an absolute bomb site in front of me, but just like when I was meditating last week, I had a cupboard sitting open like that, and I think there was like a wee pile of decks there. I know that sounds like a strange thing to do, but it's kind of like when we're sitting meditating, it's like forcing me to think, right, like acknowledge that that's there and then kind of just tune it out. Do you know what I mean? It's like because I think I need to learn to tune out distractions like that and like
mhm.
not weird noises. Like because I live in a flat and it's like there's a herd of elephants that live above us. In fact, Sophie said to me last week we were sitting in this room and we heard people moving about above us, and Sophie went, "Oh, it's the elephants upstairs." And I was like, right, I need to stop saying that because she'll end up saying that outside and when they're there or something. But I'm going off on a tangent. I'm really sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, just like I need to learn to tune out distractions. So I've found myself like kind of almost like creating wee distractions for me, so as that I can kind of train myself to like not be bothered by them. That's what I
Hmm.
was saying. Um, so yeah, sorry.
No,
Big
no.
tangent.
So I will check back with the chat, but I kind of want to get through these and then I'll go back and see if people have tools that are not relating to the topics I'm talking about. Because I did see one, Dory sort of jumped ahead and said she uses spirit dice, meditation, reading different oracles, and somebody else said something. Runes, wood thrush. Diane uses runes. That's her newest tool. But I we'll get into the individual ones. I'm going to go through the list, and if any of you relate to the stuff I'm reading on the list, that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. So number 2 on the list for me is fire and candlelight. You know, I don't know how many of you like light candles to like set the mood for your readings and things. I find a lot of times I haven't been really good with scrying. I do better like with things like candlelight and smoke and things than I do, you know, other things. But we'll get into that down the line. But I do, and I tend not to really light too many candles because I'm really afraid of setting my building on fire. But I do like the effect. You know, it has a very relaxing, calming effect, I think, to look at whether it's a candle or if you're looking at a fire in a fireplace or a bonfire, campfire, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. It must be like a primal thing, you know, from when we used to live in caves and, you know, gathered
Yeah,
around the fire and told stories or something.
yeah,
Number 3 on the list is smoke and incense. So it's like if I light incense, it's not just the smell, which, you know, you inhale and sort of puts you in a state, but I also love the sort of sinuous, snake-like, you know, wispiness of the smoke trails.
yeah.
And that really, it kind of calms the mind, I think. Number 4, tarot or other means of oracle, bones, runes, pendulums, scrying tools, crystal balls, that kind of thing. And I do have scrying stones and crystal balls. I have yet to get either of them to work for me, but I like them. Pendulums, I'm not real good on either. I mean, yes and no kind of things, but not like a pendulum board with, you know, letters and things. That hasn't worked out particularly well.
Right.
Sandra watches the smoke or looks into a candle flame. Hello, Asha Light Eagle.
Hi, Asha. How are you?
Just glancing back. Sandra finds it difficult to tune out noises when meditating. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
The next one, 5, is journaling. I don't know if you journal or not. Sometimes it helps me. I don't journal to the extent that a lot of people in the community do, you know, with everyday spreads and things, but sometimes it really does help to kind of focus on things. If I get a little unclear and you journal about something as you're looking at the cards, it almost forces you to slow down and analyze it a little bit more, I think, and sort of it's that process, I think, of pen to paper. It's not as instantaneous as your mind and looking at something. You have to kind of slow down to think about it a little bit and
Yeah.
meditate on it.
I've always thought there was something about writing, like even when I was at uni and I was like learning, there's always something that you can't replace what like about like kind of writing things down on paper. Like I know that we've got like kind of you can type stuff up and all that now, but there's just something about writing stuff down. I think it's like you say, you know, there's just the time and the you know just the extra process that's involved for your motor muscles and your brain
Mm.
just just soaks in, and I think it retains the information more. For me, it does anyway. Maybe not for everyone. I'm maybe can't speak for everyone when I say that, but yeah. So when it comes to journaling, I think there is a lot to be said for it because like you remember it more, and if you see similar patterns coming up, I think you're more likely to kind of recall what you've journaled about. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're right too. It does sort of stimulate certain parts of the brain that we don't generally use in the same way. I mean, I have a weekly creative writing class, and I've discovered that I've developed this skill that's almost like automatic writing. Now, they give me word prompts, and I'll have 8 to 12 random words. And each week I'll write a little story that's only like, a 3 paragraph story. And I'll have to incorporate all the words in. And it's kind of like a puzzle in a game, but somehow the words stimulate my mind in a way to kind of meditate or create this story incorporating these words. And it's almost like it writes itself. I don't know how it happens, but it kind of like tweaks something in my brain that kind of they fall into place and they make this story. It's really weird, but it's so much fun. For me, it's very relaxing. It's very meditative. It's rewarding because at the end of it, I've got something I've done, that I've created that I'm happy with. And so it works on a lot of different levels, but I think it also sort of helps me develop that sort of intuitive nature of like what to draw from, what to pull from, what to write next.
Mm-hmm.
So number 6 is meditation and trance work. No, I know in Jilly's group, and a lot of people do meditation. Trance work, I don't know if I'm describing that right. I also attend a once a month shamanic circle, and they don't call it trance work, but I think that's what it is. They call it journeying, which is basically, if people in the chat or if you know about journeying, it's basically someone repetitively beats on a drum, and the rhythm of the drum is supposed to do something to certain waves in the brain that helps you kind of go into slight trance. And it's kind of like creative visualization. You just kind of like tune the world out and you start seeing images, or maybe you hear sounds or smells, but like you go on this little journey into the other world and you get messages from spirit guides or animal guides or whatever. But it's interesting because it's kind of like dream work in a way. You get these images coming to you, and then you almost can interpret them afterwards the way you might interpret reading cards.
Yeah. Sounds a wee bit like projection, like what?
Like astral projection
type idea.
Maybe. I don't know too much about that. I thought that had more to do with like traveling to different. Well, I guess it is. Yeah. I mean, for me, when I do journeying, it's very earthbound, earth related. Usually I find I'm drawn to a clearing with a tree in the middle of it and go down into the earth through the roots of the tree into some alternate world where I see all these things happen. I don't generally go out into space, and I somehow it might be my own idea about astral projection, but my notion there is like leaving the body and floating around out in space or something like that. But I might be just assuming something about that system that's not wait. Gerald says, is your writing class using writing down the bones? But no, Gerald, it's just a senior citizen creative writing class, and I sort of like facilitate it. It's a group of people that got together at the senior center and have continued through Zoom since the center's been closed, and it's a small little group of 7 people, and we really enjoy critiquing each other's work and sharing time with each other. It's a nice little community. Number 7, sound and vibrational tools, bells, singing bowls, rattles, drums, humming, drone instruments like organs, shruti boxes, flutes, harps, or lyres. I think James Feeney was recently talking about being interested particularly in sound healing and vibrational work. And there's some great books by Jonathan Goldman, who's really into that, about how sound vibrations can affect the body and heal. And I mean, we know they affect the mind and the mood. You know, if you listen to different kinds of music, it will affect different moods. And there's a guy, I might be misremembering his name. I think it's Masamoto. No, I don't know, Professor Emoto or something. I've got his name wrong, but he's done a lot of research with water, and
Okay.
they've impacted water with harsh language and soft tones, and heavy metal music versus classical music, and then they crystallize the water, and they see crystal patterns being affected by the sound vibrations they've been exposed to, which is really fascinating. They
Yeah.
show these like microscopic images of snowflakes made from these waters. And the ones that have been like exposed to like thrash or hardcore music are like totally chaotic, whereas the other ones form these really ornate pattern crystals. And I mean, sound is amazing.
Yeah, that's quite
So,
cool.
and I think it's also similar with light work. You know, you can the people use color filters to work with light vibration, but I think light vibration is much more. Oh, here Sue says Masaru Emoto. Thank you, Sue, and Amanda as well. Um, the light vibration and sound vibration are similar, but I think we probably relate a little bit more directly to sound vibration because you can feel it. Light vibration's a little more subtle, but I think it's why they do things like they paint hospital wings green and stuff. And different colors affect healing and health and so forth. And you can study that too. Like if you wear different colors, like if you wear red, it will affect your mood in a different way than if you wear black or blue. Or
Yeah.
you may have noticed that anyway. I'm rambling.
No, no, not at all. It's interesting. I didn't notice that, to be honest, and now I'm going to.
Number 8 is crystals, which I know a lot of people have worked with too in our community. And I haven't done a walkthrough of my crystals. I have, bags and boxes full of crystals. But that was kind of the phase that I went through maybe 20 years ago, and I really don't use them very much. Sometimes I'll drag them out and hold them or use them. But there is one that I hang on to. It was a little, it's a nephrite, which is a little greenish stone that belonged to my grandfather, and he used to carry it in his pocket. And it's the only stone that he carried like that. I don't know what prompted him to do that, but when he passed, he gave it to my mother, and my mother gave it to me. So I like having that just because it kind of connects me by spirit to my ancestor, to my grandfather, and my mother as well. It's just kind of nice to have that little stone and think that they both had an energy connection with it, to some degree. And I've kind of held on to that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't think so, Diane. She says, I think the community would like both of you to do a video of you playing your musical instruments, please. Oh, well, maybe separate, not together. I can't really perform very well with other people or live for that matter. I do kind of, I do sort of meditational work with instruments. Like I'll drag out my harp or my lyre, and I'll just kind of go into a dream state or a trance and start improvising on it, and I find that really therapeutic. But
Yeah,
it's something I just do for me. I don't really do it to entertain other people, or I don't think there's any pretense there that anybody might find it entertaining. It's just
yeah,
something that I do that soothes me.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing piano on video anytime soon.
do you, and there are different schools of musicians too. Now, I know you're learning piano, and I assume that you're learning to read or write music, or you're playing pieces that other people have composed. Do you create your own or improvise, or do you only do things that other people have put down to paper?
Just, just really other music. I've not really written anything of my own. There was, do you know the band Simply Red?
Yeah.
So they did a song called "Something Got Me Started."
Hmm.
And in that, when you're playing the piano piece for that, there is like a couple of lines maybe where you improvise.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, I've not written anything, to be honest. I did in school actually. We did improvisation in school. Just using the minor blues scale, if I remember rightly. But um, no, I'm not really much of a writer. And right now, I can't really see myself ever being.
How do you feel about improvising? Does it make you uncomfortable to do it? Rely a little easier on stuff that's written out for you, or do you find it freeing to sit down and just improvise things? Or
It's difficult to say just now because I think like to improvise, like and actually for it to be good, you would probably need to be sticking to like a particular scale, or do you know what I mean? So I, I, I'm not really comfortable enough with
yeah,
that side of it yet to be able to do anything that would be decent. Like I can mess about with chords and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
uh-huh,
like a 1 4 5 6 pattern chord pattern that's like quite standard in most pop songs. Like I can do stuff like that, but other than that, like I think if I was more confident with the scales I was using, then yeah, absolutely. Like my C minor blues scale, I know that like the back of my hand because
hmm.
I did that all the way through school, so I can improvise with that, and I'm quite comfortable doing it. It's quite fun, but it does get a bit samey after a while.
It gets a little tricky with something like a keyboard, where, well, I guess any instrument really, where it's wide open like that with all the notes. I mean, my harps and lyres, they have limited number of strings, and I have them tuned in a way that it's not really pentatonic, but it's a way that no two strings really sound bad together unless they're like
Mhm.
adjacent. As long as they're not adjacent strings, you could play anything and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to improvise on there and just kind of get lost in it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Simon says, "I love Chris's piano. It's lovely and pink." Yeah, I've got that's a reference to my tour video. I've got my
yeah.
piano, but then across from it, my niece's piano. Um, yeah,
Are you teaching your niece? That'd be funny to see a duet between.
my goodness. Every time I sit at the piano, it's like, Sophie, sit on your knee, and I'm like, right, okay. And then it's like, but you need to be very gentle with the keys, and she does start off like really gentle and really kind of
Yeah,
like playing with intention. Like she's like using her fingers to play the keys that she wants, but then after a couple of minutes, it's like mash, mash,
yeah,
mash, mash, and I'm like,
yeah,
right, enough, away you go.
yeah.
But I think it would be like she's got enough interest in it where like someone who's like kind of skilled at used to teaching kids piano, like someone who could do that, like who's got that in their skill set. I think she could really thrive. But I know my piano teacher has taught kids before, so maybe when she's old enough, I'll like say to your mum and dad if they want to get him to?
I have sort of a Brian Eno non-musician approach. When I mean, uh, um, early on, I had a roommate who was classically trained. Well, I don't know if he was classically trained, but he's trained on how to play the piano, and I guess he could read music. He handed me down one of his old pianos or electric pianos, and I said, I don't know if I can do this. And he goes, "There's only one way." This is his sense of things. It goes, "There's only one way to learn piano. Sit down and start banging away at it for hours and hours, and at some point you will find your own method." And it really kind of worked. But I mean, I haven't done as much with it as I should. I don't have the patience really, but I did come up with my own method, I was able to write my own little songs and to be able to repeat them and perform them. And yeah, there were certain things I discovered about the layout of the keys on the piano, that certain combinations just naturally work better together than others. And you know and I think it's interesting too to not be told what you can or can't do on an instrument, but just to kind of find your own way, which is a little bit like tarot. I mean, yeah, it's helpful to have a system, but at the same time, there are people that read intuitively too. And I guess you kind of need something a little bit in between. If it's all system, that's one thing. If it's all intuitive, that's another. But if you have a little bit of both in there, I think it frees you to go in directions that, maybe some might not be emboldened to try. I don't know. I mean, nobody ever told me what I was doing was wrong because, I didn't do it their way. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'd mentioned crystals. Number 9 on the list was drinks and medicinals, so things like teas and herbs. And I know some people smoke or take, certain enhancements to put them in a particular state to affect their the way they deal with spirit. And the last one is art, drawing, painting, knitting, craft. So these are all things that connect me with spirit and spirituality. And I guess I did ramble there quite a bit. I'm going to scroll back and see if I can find what other people said.
You've missed Justin calling me the Scottish Liberace. We have a comedian in our midst.
What am I doing in a senior citizen writing class? You're too young. Well, that's kind of you. Actually, you only had to be 60 to attend the center, and I'm beyond that. So, Gerald said that.
Gerald.
Boy, it's been a lot of chat that I've missed. Runes. Watching the smoke, looking into a candle flame. Has anyone done a reading with the sage? With the sage, Asha Light Eagle. I'm not sure what she means by. Does she mean
burning sage and it lets off smoke?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And that's the thing I'm enjoying more about those Rorschach block prints. You would think that looking at the cards, I would see the same image every time I looked at the same card, but I don't. My mind, finds different things in them. The way tarot cards, the same thing. They're filled with symbols, and sometimes you don't even think about it, but your eye just zooms in on one little aspect in the background that you didn't see the time before,
Yeah.
Blue Crescent says, when I would have my dancers meditate once a month at the end of class, I'd talk them through sort of absorbing sounds and using them as part of their breath. Okay.
That's pretty cool, Deanne.
Sandra does a lot of journaling, helps her with her mental health. Yeah, I think that's good. Blue Crescent loves journaling.
Justin's made, sorry if I'm taking you out your
All right.
flow, but Justin's made a comment at the end that you might be interested in. He says the Parrot Tarot has music notes. I'm surprised no other tarot has done that. Have you heard of the Parrot Tarot?
No. Justin, have you done a walkthrough of that one? I'll have to look at that. Or maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe he's just seen it. I don't know. Deanne journals, just writes down cards and keywords. That's enough to ground her for the day. Okay. Diane, I write that I'm thankful for in what I'm thankful for in my journal, light a candle, then light the incense from the candle flame, then draw cards and journal and sketch the card. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. I've actually got a journal now. And I'd spoken to I think I'd spoken to Simon and I'd spoken to Justin about journaling because I was wondering I wasn't really sure what journal to get, to be honest. This is the first time I've journaled, but I just took this. It's like an art book. I've got it. Hang on. It's just like a sketchbook. So it's just blank kind of. It's nice thick art paper. And I've got a section for my cards of the day, and I've left enough space to do that for the entire year. Like write down what card of the day that I pull. And then I've got a section for like a page. Each page is like week commencing, so I've just kind of taken down notes of stuff that I'm doing, mainly stuff to do with my channel and things like that. But I've got like for that week there that just ended, I've got like my weekly reading, like my reading for the week, and then what else have I got? Stuff like the Marseille study group and things like that. Just like a wee planner type thing. So that's quite good. But that's all I'm doing with it at the moment.
Sandra has a singing bowl. I have 3 of them. That's another thing. The singing bowls, I think you have to, if you want a singing bowl, Simon, I don't know if he ever plays his or just strikes it. Some people just strike the bowl, and then others. Have you ever seen anybody play a singing bowl, Chris?
I think Simon's maybe played his once on a live at the request of the watchers.
Because usually a lot of people just strike them and like let them ring. But what you can do, I can find it, grab one here, is, oops, it's got a little one inside. You can stir the sound up, and it's really amazing. Sorry, how loud they can get. It just fills your space. And talk about spiritual.
Yeah. Every dog in your building, Robin, just perked up.
But I have 3 different ones, and they have 3 different tones, and I find that all 3 affect me in different ways. And I found when I was in the shop choosing them, there are so many different notes that some of them resonate with you. It's kind of like different people are in tune with different tones, and they affect them in different ways. And I don't know, that one may have set your nerves on edge, or maybe it was just the volume was too loud. But I know some people find it like nails on a chalkboard, and others are like soothed by it. So it depends on what you're in tune with.
It could potentially be different if it was in person rather
Yeah,
than listening to it over this. Do you know what I mean? But I think that got to us. It sounded quite nice to begin with, but it got to a certain volume where it
louder.
was
No,
like screeching through my headset, so I had to weak it off.
well, it's probably different in headphones too than just through the speaker.
Um,
Asha says she loves to do a shamanic ceremony because one can heal through the drum. Now, one of the things that I have trouble with the drumming and the shamanic journeying is, for me, I mean, it's supposed to be a certain beat and a certain rhythm, and I find that whoever plays the drum doesn't really do it to the right beat or rhythm to suit me. I need it to be I need a really regular rhythm to kind of lull me into trance. If it's not like repeated in a perfect enough rhythm, it's distracting. And I actually
try it, Robin.
what
I don't know. Just,
I
just try to find an issue with the rhythm of the drum.
I also like it slower than they usually do, because I kind of feel like it should sort of echo human heartbeat, and they usually play it faster than that, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't. There must be a science or an art behind it, but I don't know what it is. But for me, I relate to the rhythms a little bit differently. Uh, Justin now is talking about something, but Pythagoras started that. RMP, oh, I guess that's Rachel, talks about it. No, oh, Robert M. Place, sorry, talks about it in his book. They correlate with planets to music notes and soul centers. Okay. I'm like way behind here. I'm trying to fly through these.
Yeah, I was going to say those comments were a while ago.
Uh,
Everyone's getting a good chuckle at you, at me grabbing my headset off of you with your sounding board.
John T. I don't know John T. Hello. Started playing guitar.
John sent me, sorry to cut you off there, Robin. John sent me this, so he did. The Ancien Tarot de Marseille, the Grimaud.
Oh,
Because I had I've got like a vintage copy, and I had been saying on a live with Masha and Mendy when we did the date in the tarot tag that Ellen Shane did tonight. I'd been saying that I've been meaning to get just like a copy off Amazon that I can just use like day to day. And he had one that he wasn't using, so he very kindly sent me it. Jelly's here. Hi, Jelly.
yeah,
Well, I
she's been
don't know.
there a while. I
Actually,
said hi to her a long time ago.
oh, sorry, Jelly. I didn't know.
Deanne said it reminds her of something about the difference in plants when you speak to them nicely or speak with malice. So yeah, that's like the water thing. And Diane also speaks to her plants; they love it. So it really can affect. I've heard that there's a video on that too. They found a way to microscopically record sounds that plants make, and when they're exposed to different things. So it's like if they're exposed to like unpleasantness, they make a different sound than 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 when they're soothed or whatever. I don't know. You have to go searching and googling around on YouTube to find these, but it's totally fascinating.
So what plants do people talk to? Is it particular kinds of plants or like
All plants are like that, I think.
yeah,
There's tree huggers too, people that hug trees.
yeah,
I love to go like sit under a tree and just like lean up against the tree and have that sort of connection, quiet time. A lot of people and listen to the trees. If you're out in the wilderness and you hear the wind blowing through the leaves and the branches, it's like, oh, it's just the best.
yeah. Sarah from What Our Child Tarot's here as well. Has Sarah been here the whole time as well? And,
No. Hi, Sarah.
no. Hi, Sarah.
Something about a beautiful plink plink sound. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Somebody play. Oh, Jamie plays the flute.
Oh, lovely, Jamie.
Oh,
Didn't know that.
oh. Scottish Liberace. Okay, yeah, I'm up to that part. House plants. Oh, I'm at the end. All right. Well, that kind of, that's that. I've been rambling for about an hour on all this crazy stuff. So if you want to do some readings, or if you're up for that, and I didn't put the little runner on the bottom, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat in caps, and yeah, we'll give it a shot. I know Chris is itching to read. He's been shuffling there for a little while.
I just like shuffling cards. I just tend to grab a deck and start shuffling. I do it when I'm watching lives as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I find it quite therapeutic.
Get out the fife. I'm impressed, says Jilly.
What was that?
I don't know. Something about get out the fife. I'm impressed.
All right.
I think she may be talking to Jamie. Oh no, Justin says he can play the fife. I can't quite visualize that, Justin. He says it's very simple, Jilly. Oh. Diane wants to see a fife video, please.
Bye, Simon. Have a good sleep.
Simon's leaving. Okay. Yeah, we usually lose Simon when the reading part comes along.
I think it's just the time, Robin.
Yeah.
Because Simon's like me. Simon gets up early, so I know he likes to be.
Oh, I didn't catch him, but I was going to say, before we go any further, I should make an announcement. Tonight, my radio show, which for folks in the UK that either have insomnia or are very early risers, it'll be 4 to 6 in the morning over there. I'm doing my show themed around the tarot. So all the song titles in my show tonight are related to the different cards in the major arcana. So anybody that's up and wants to tune in at luxuriamusic.com, it's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. here in Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, 4 to 6 a.m. if you're in the UK. And if you're elsewhere in the world, you'll have to do the calculation yourself. But I had a lot of fun putting that together, and I got through. Some of the cards got more than one song for the title, but the only ones I had trouble, I didn't have a song for the Empress, but I did have an Emperor song. And I also didn't have a Temperance song, but I did have one that had Temperate in the title.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was fun. So you might all get a kick out of that if you're around. And also they will air it as a podcast after the live, within 20 minutes after the live broadcast. So you can check it out anytime. You don't have to be up in the middle of the night to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sarah says that Hieronymus Bosch Tarot is a lovely shuffling experience. Not heard of it before.
I've seen that and I really wanted it, but it goes by a really different system. I think it has like 5 suits or something, and it looked really confusing, but the artwork looked fascinating. I like his art anyway. Who's got a question for us tonight?
Will we start off and pull some cards for everyone for the collective?
Okay.
Just a message for the week ahead since we're on Monday.
All right. Oh, Sarah says there's 4 minor suits that have been split into 2 each, so there's 8 suits. Yeah, that's just too much confusion for me to have 8 suits in a deck.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, where did I see it? Who was talking about that? Was it you, Sarah? Oh, you posted on one of the groups, didn't you? You posted in one of the groups about it. I think that was it. I think I saw that briefly. Um, I've got the Hermit, which was this week's Tarot Playdate card, as our central card here, which is well,
Oh,
which
wait,
means
did you pull 1 card or 3 for
3.
the week? Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I don't apologise. If you've got one card and you want to read the one card, then
No,
fire away.
no, I hadn't done it yet, but I thought you said pull a card for the week, so I didn't know you meant 3.
Tarot
Okay.
Cheney says, "Can you leave a link for the radio broadcast
Yeah.
after the live is over?"
I can do that, but if you can remember it and write it down, it's luxuriamusic.com. LuxuriaMusic, luxuriamusic.com. And it's called the Dark Day Escape Pod. When you get to the channel, just like play if you're there at the right time. Otherwise, you could look up Dark Day Escape Pod. Sorry. So, yeah, go ahead with your 3.
Okay. I got the Six of Pentacles, the Hermit cards, and the Nine of Wands for as well.
Oh, you're going Marseille.
Yeah, I'm using Patishi's deck tonight. So Six of Pentacles it speaks of finding harmony after perhaps a time of difficulty. So coming out of that kind of that period of instability and that period of difficulty and starting to, just feel that harmony again. Now that can be achieved through different methods. Our classic kind of image that we tend to associate as the image of generosity, of giving and receiving. Like that's a really good thing to do for the soul. But it's not the only way that we can kind of find that balance in our lives. Um, the Hermit speaks of kind of going inward. We've learned all about the Hermit this week. It's going inward. It's thinking. It's like if anyone read what I put on Tarot Playdate about the Druidcraft, I've come to kind of think about it as like kind of retracing our steps, going back over old ground with, when you're better informed. And you can really gain to learn a lot from that. Now, there's got to be a balance. There's a balance to be struck there. If you do it too much, then you find yourself being stuck in the past. And you kind of lose your sight of the future a wee bit, and you find yourself being like kind of trapped. But yeah, it's a good exercise, but just in the right amount. And then I've just kind of realised that we actually have the Hermit's a 9, so we've actually got 2 9s at the end. So for me, 9s are about kind of coming to the end of a cycle and reflecting on it, and completing, taking those last actions, those completing actions. The 9 of Wands, really high passion, high fire energy, and quite often we when we get to this stage where we're battle worn, we're scarred, and we've got the wounds to show for the journey that we've been on. But that, or sorry, we've got the scars to show for the journey that we've been on. I beg your pardon, because the next thing I was going to say is something that I think it might be Elle that's said a couple of times now that I really resonate with, is that scars teaches things. And I can't remember the quote now, which is annoying. If you're still here, Elle, you can maybe help me out. If it was even you that said it, I think it was. But it's like wounds are painful, but scars teaches or something like that. Oh, I can't remember, but I've fallen off my kilter a wee bit. I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, just finding that harmony by going within, and being thankful for the lessons that we've learned. But at the same time, kind of looking to the future and looking to progress.
Elle says, teach from the scars, not from the wounds.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, El.
Okay.
You got 'em.
I pulled 3 cards and I thought I shuffled the deck real well. It's weird though. I got 3 major cards. I got Strength, the High Priestess, and the Lovers. And I tell you, apologies to folks outside the US, but my mind this week is on what's going on here and what should be a wonderful, glorious week for us, but I expect is going to be very difficult, a very difficult week. And when I see Strength, the High Priestess, and the Lovers, I think about the strength that it may take to show compassion and understanding. And may also, I'm looking at the High Priestess a little bit like the Hermit too, may also require a little bit of study or removing oneself, even for the sense of self-preservation from what's going on in politics in order to find that strength and find that compassion. So I really, keeping my fingers crossed from everybody here, but I tend to be sort of a pessimist, and I'm really not hopeful that things will run smoothly this week. I think, it hasn't been touched on much in the tarot community, but I think we're in for a really rough time. You know how bad it was last Wednesday. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
What
But
cards did you pull, Robin? Sorry, can I see them?
Strength, High Priestess, and the Lovers.
Right. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you say. Oh, nice.
So yeah, that kind of sums it up for me. Like I'm kind of leaning heavily on that High Priestess to help me, because the other two seem sort of natural. The High Priestess is a little bit more difficult for me to read in this spread, but she's at the center of it. So I think maybe some sort of spiritual guidance in order to help find that strength and that compassion. I don't know why I'm reading the Lovers as compassion. I don't usually read it that way, but in this instance, strength also could be compassion. So that's the way it strikes me.
It's interesting that you've got the High Priestess and Strength, and I've got the Hermit, like all major cards, but they all talk about like kind of strength coming from within. You know, the High Priestess perhaps more from a kind of unconscious point of view. The Hermit going within and learning about the self, and then Strength card is talking about that kind of inner strength that can come out. But just whilst you were talking there, and to be honest, I hadn't even thought about, I hadn't given that a thought when I was talking about the cards that I'd pulled. But this idea of like being the I think it's Simon that said it quite a few times, be the change that you want to see. It's like, not all of the bad things that are happening are because of one person. So this changeover that's going to happen, it's going to be amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, like not a fan of the person at all, but it's quite easy for us to say, oh, it's all because of that person. It's all because of him. But there's more work to be done. I think everybody can agree. There's more work to be done. To create the society that we want to see. So it's important that, you know, whilst there are external changes happening, we need to still go within, and we need to still kind of challenge ourselves to make those changes and to kind of take that action or do whatever it is that we need to do, you know. Um,
I'm not
yeah,
really. I agree with you. I'm not really sure how effective that can. I mean, we can change things for ourselves and how we perceive and deal with things. I'm not sure how much impact we can have on the others that are creating this situation. I'm not putting it all on his shoulders. I mean, he's lied to a lot of people and he has a lot of followers, and those followers are beyond my fathoming how they arrive at the manner of thinking that they do, or how they accept what he says as fact. But I mean, it's an enormous amount in the population that wants to basically be shit stirrers, you know. And
uh-huh.
how do you affect a change on those people? I don't know if you can. I mean, if, in a small way, everyone can by how they deal with people and treat people, but some people just are not open to being affected by that, I don't think. But you never know. You never. I shouldn't say never. I know when back in the early 80s, I went on a little trip to San Francisco. And at the time, I wanted to escape New York. And it was a friend was going, then I went with him. And New York was a really nasty place at the time. It's like, oh, it was foul on the street, and everybody's mood was so nasty. And I thought, nastiness is contagious, but kindness isn't. And then I went out in San Francisco when I was walking around in the streets, and I passed by this little old lady who smiled at me and said, "Good morning." And I immediately felt better. And I said, "Good morning" back. And I felt good. And I thought, oh my gosh, kindness is contagious too. It's not just nastiness that's
Yeah.
contagious. So there are things you can do, I suppose, in a small way to kind of help. I think we're kind of in the tarot community, I think we're kind of an enclosed, small, friendly, supportive community. And, pushing beyond those boundaries and like trying to reach other people. I don't know if we really talk much about that or how that's accomplished, but I'm rambling again.
No, you're not. No, no, not at all. I'm listening intently.
But I don't know if that's what you meant by how we can affect um,
I
what
think I,
you were trying to explain.
I think I was speaking a wee bit more generally. Like, we have a tendency to, you know, we create devils. Do you know what I mean? We say like, oh, everything that's happening that's bad, it's because of that person. You know.
Hmm.
Um, and it's, what I'm not saying is that that person isn't bad, not at all. But when you kind of when you create that, is it a scapegoat? Is that the right term? Like, when you kind
Yeah.
of create something to put all the bad onto, you kind of then tell yourself, when it turns around, um, everything's going to be fine. But the point I was making is, like, there's more work to be done even after that. After that turnaround, it's
Hmm.
not just all about that one person. As good or bad as that person might be, it is not all about that person, and there is a lot more to be done. And I think that it's up to everybody to stand up and, be the change they want to see. Um, like, I'm not talking specifically about, his supporters or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, not everything bad that's happening in this world is because that one person. So we all kind of need to try and, be that change and fight for that change. Because if we all say to ourselves, "Oh well, I'm just one person," do you know what I mean? What difference can I make? If
Yeah.
everybody had that, then nothing would happen. But if everybody had the opposite attitude, where it was like, right, well, if I, let's all kind of stand up for what we believe in. If everybody had that attitude, then, change would happen. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, and it's not like, I hope I'm not coming across like in any way. like on a soapbox or lecturing or anything like that. I was just, to be honest, it just stemmed from looking at from like reflecting on the cards that had been drawn. But
Yeah.
that was all really doing.
I just wanted to chime in here. Neem has joined us, and welcome, Neem. She goes, I'm afraid Robin's correct on this. It'll get worse before it gets better. Sad and scary times we are in. She goes, that's how I felt in South Carolina. The license plate logo is smiling faces, shining places, something like that. This was years ago. Everyone was just so, so pleasant. As a New Yorker, I was taken aback. The plan was to leave the world a better place, but I think it's going to fall on the shoulders of the next generation. Well, I hope it doesn't take that long, but, it could be. We got to make a start somewhere. I just think it's going to be real rough this week. I mean, the inauguration's 2 days away, Wednesday, and they have forces already. Armed forces already gathering, militias and whatnot in different state capitals in various states. I mean, this is crazy. And I just hope we don't launch into a new civil war or something over this. But, once Trump is out and Biden is in, that will start things, and hopefully the Senate can then shift. And once they start seeing good things happening and being made, maybe slowly things can be smoothed over and gotten under control. But this is going to be an explosive week, I think. All those firearms out there in the hands of crazy radical people is just, I fear for what's ahead. And knock on plastic, knock on wood. I hope, that it goes okay, but I'm quite wary this week. And, but anyway, that's where I was looking at those cards from that draw.
Yeah.
Does anybody in the chat want a reading?
I don't think anybody's asked a question.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Or does anybody have anything else they want to just ask or talk about in general? Because we've been about an hour and a half, I think, and that's a goodly time. So is your little wee one off asleep, I hope, by now?
Yeah. Yeah, she went down about 7:30, so she did. And as far as I'm aware, she's been asleep since. I've not heard a peep out of her.
Your sister on a little trip or vacation or something, or well, that's none of my business.
It's my best friend. No, she's not. She's Sorry, I'm just checking on her now that you've said that. Sorry, Robin, 2 seconds.
Sure.
She's fast asleep.
Wait, this is your niece, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought
you refer to her as my niece, but she's my best friend's daughter.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I guess that's why I jumped to the sister thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I thought, well, that's weird. I thought he was talking about his niece. What's this about the best friend? So I didn't know that situation.
No, it's not a situation. It's just, well, I'm her Uncle Chris, and I call her my niece.
Yeah.
Don't think we've got any questions, Robin.
No. Well, we might have a surprise visitor next time. I shouldn't say that. I put the word out to someone, and I asked them in very last minute today, do you want to do this? And they said, no, it's too short notice. They couldn't handle it. But they were very interested in it. It's somebody that you enjoy. So I think I might leave you on tenterhooks there and leave you wondering who it might be, and try not to give it away till next time.
Well, I'm not going to give it away because I don't know, because you're not telling me.
No, I mean me not give it away because
Oh,
we've done this a couple times before and you've known. But I think next time I would like to just sort of surprise you with it. So
right. Okay.
I say it because I don't want to say he or she. So, but
Same.
yeah. So let's pull a single card maybe for, I don't know. I guess we sort of just did that. I was going to say a card for the week, but we kind of did that already. What can we pull a card for? Something hopeful beyond the week, maybe. Just the one card.
Just one card
Oh,
for
oh God, God. Now you find me something hopeful about this. I pulled the Eight of Wands.
the Eight of
I,
Wands. That's a great card. What's wrong with
I
that card?
I always read that as everything flying at you, but you read it as things in tandem or in parallel. So maybe that's the positive side. That maybe we're all gonna move together towards something. Possibly, could that be the light side of this card?
Yeah, I see the Eight of Wands as fast movement forwards. Do you know what I mean? It's you're not standing with things coming towards you. You're riding the things that are. Do you know what I mean? Or that's your energy that's being directed. Do you know what I mean? So
See,
no, I definitely see that as a.
that's not the way I read it because I think maybe I look at the seven, is it, and the nine. I forget what the nine is. With the other ones, they're like fighting people. So I always see those cards as like coming flying at me, like you've got a lot to deal with. They got a lot coming your way, coming at you. It's a lot of crap to deal with. But in terms of a positive thing, if you're on the other side, I guess, if if you're on the receiving end of Eight Wands, it might not be a very nice thing. But if you're on the other side, it might be good, I guess.
I got the King of Wands.
Ah,
So lots of fire energy, lots of wands. So I mean, I don't think we said what we're actually reading for. It was just a general card reading. So given that we've got fire, like high fire energy, that like we're talking passion. High passions. We're talking about things that we care about. We're not talking about like random mundane things. It's not one of those couch potato type energies. It's very much creativity, change, shit is happening type energy. And the king is all about taking control of that, it's all about, getting your hands dirty and influencing the change and the action and whatever it is that's happening, being an influencer and dealing with that when you need to, but at the same time, you're splitting your time effectively between taking action and overseeing the action that's happening, because as much as the king loves to get involved, he still wants to he still needs it's on his shoulders to oversee the stability of his entire kingdom, so everything, all of that energy, all of that fire energy, it's up to him to make sure that that doesn't burn the world down, so he's got an important job. So don't worry, Robin, those Eight Wands that are flying at you, I've got my king's got your backs, he's sitting there on his throne, ever watchful. He's watching that energy and he's ready to kind of jump in and get his hands dirty and redirect that energy if that's what needs to happen. But I think we can all agree that we need high fire energy right now. We need kind of influence. We need change, and it seems to be you know maybe you don't read that as a good thing, but even if you would read that as negative, I would say that like dashed by the king.
mhm.
Um, there's definitely positive influence there.
Yeah. Jen's got a I don't know if you're up for it now since we did that, but she's got a question for you if you want to try.
How do you see Carl with his apprenticeship?
Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen, how are you? I think she's asking both of us, Robin, because it looks as though
Okay.
Jen's asked it just above, and then she's highlighted my name.
I haven't been following her lately, so I wasn't aware Carl had an. Is Carl her husband or her son?
Son.
Yeah, I wasn't aware he had an apprenticeship. I thought he was sort of questioning what he was doing and hadn't quite gotten there yet.
If I remember correctly, it's with a family member or something. So yeah, let's have a look. So I says there, I think it's with a family member or something. I'm not sure. And then I got the Ten of Cups as my first card. I don't know if that's an answer to my question or. But yeah, I've got the Ten of Cups. I've got the Queen of Cups. And I've got the Six of Swords. So that's interesting. So let me just think about this. I mean, things seem to definitely start out like you've got the enthusiasm. You know, you're approaching it with that high energy. You know, you've got the 10 there, the 10 of Cups. So you really kind of going into it with that energy. The Queen of Cups could indicate that there's a good mentor there. You know, someone to influence them and help them direct that energy, and really kind of I see the Queens as coaches. You know, so he seems to have a really good coach in what he's doing. So whoever his mentor is in his apprenticeship, that you know there seems to be a good influence there, and you know, given that it's the Queen of Cups, that there seems to be that really. This is someone who cares about making sure that he's passionate about what he's doing and that he cares about what he's doing. It's not someone who, you know how when you maybe this is just my own prejudice, right? But when you think about like apprenticeships, you think tradesmen, you know, you think like workers, you know, like who play tricks on like the young apprentices and stuff like that. That's just like the picture that I've got in my head. I don't see that with this person though. I see the mentor figure here as being very much kind of sensitive when they need to be, and willing to kind of look after them. We're ending up on the Six of Swords though, which is an interesting one. So maybe there is going to be a change in the end up. Maybe there's going to be that kind of there needs to be that movement forward to kind of find his own purpose. You know, I mean. There's definitely no negativity in the first two cards. I don't think, and definitely like when you're learning stuff, when you're doing an apprenticeship, you're learning skills, not just this like how to hammer a piece of wood or whatever it is that he's learning to do, but you're learning transferable skills that are always going to come in useful. But I do think that there's going to be, I don't see that being the forever, you know, dream job. I think that there's going to be a change at some point. And that, you know, swords, we think, you know, mental energy. When I look at the Six of Swords, quite often I'm thinking, oh, Jen, I know Marielle's your favourite deck, so you'll know what I mean. I'm thinking that image with Raphael and guiding home all of the different aspects of the self, you know. So for me, it's trying to kind of sort out how you feel about it yourself, you know, in your own heart and in your own head. So that it's not to suggest that he's not going to be good at it, but it's just a bit of a kind of journey to find out what's right for him, I think, is what I would see going forward. What you got, Robin?
You had 2 cups cards and 1 sword card?
Yes.
Me too.
Okay.
The same sequence.
Okay.
I had the 4 of cups, the 10 of cups, and the page of swords. Now I'm looking at the 10 of cups as happy family under the rainbow. Everybody is thrilled that he's got that job, you know, or that he's got the apprenticeship. Now, the 4 of cups, I see him as he seems to be rather focused on the 3 cups. But it's a learning process. He's not paying much attention to that 4th cup, but somebody will probably draw his attention to that 4th cup. And like I said, it's a learning process. It's an apprenticeship. So And then the other one is the Page of Swords, and he's ready to take a swing at this. Maybe he doesn't know the proper way to hold the sword yet, or just how he's going to strike with it, but he's willing, and again, it's a learning process, and there are people there to guide him. So, yeah, I would say in both the Four of Cups and the Page of Swords, you have a young figure who is sort of like at the beginning of things, sort of trying to figure it out, and they're a novice. They don't quite know what they're doing yet, but they've got people around them to help. So I think it's going to go okay. This doesn't really tell me very much about the people that are helping him, this spread, but I think it's a happy situation. Now, I looked at the Ten of Cups as your family being happy. I don't know whether to read into that his helpers as part of that happy family or not. I believe you said it's the uncle, so he's part of the extended family, but I don't know what his attitude is about it. I don't know if he's made an offer to help out the family, or whether he is particularly happy to have your son working with him. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway. She says, both make a lot of sense, and yes, we're all thrilled for him and proud of the effort he's making. That's good, because I know you were concerned about his sort of lackluster enthusiasm over, pursuing employment or whatever.
He's a good boy. He's just been a 16-year-old teenager.
Yeah, but she was expressing concern, and I it looks like you needn't have worried. Yeah. Oh, you can take her off the screen. How do I do that? I gotta find it.
Just click on another one and then click it off.
Are there any others? I don't think so.
No, I think that's fine.
Anybody else have a question? Otherwise, we'll probably call it a night and wish you all well. So thanks, Chris, and
thank you for having me. And I hope that this week, I know obviously this week's a big week for you guys over in the US, so
yeah,
I'll be thinking about you, and we'll keep in touch anyway. But I'll be thinking about you all, and I hope everything goes as smoothly as it can.
Yeah, well, luckily we have things like the Corin streams to. Well, I don't know that you guys in the UK want to talk about this stuff or commiserate with us, but come Thursday with the Corin stream and you're live on Thursday, you may get some chat about it. I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to the weekend actually, when I can, have a little diversion with the Marseille group and Jilly's little group. So
yeah, cool.
All right, and who knows, if I'm really upset, I may lean on all of you and jump online for an impromptu live to commiserate, but I'm not foreseeing that at the moment. All right then. Good night, everybody, and sleep well, be well, and we'll see you all in February, which is, we may do some things around love and romance. Where's Jonathan Daly with his love deck? We'll see.
Right, he's very white boy. Yeah, thanks very much for being here, everyone. It was lovely to see you all. And yeah, I'll see you all at some point during the week, no doubt.
All right, bye.
Bye.